This is going to be a big company that is really going to leave a mark on the security industry forever.
What ACT is doing is really not just empowering the CISOs, but helping them close the loop. It's action-oriented versus visibility-oriented.
Getting reports and visibility and endless findings, it just doesn't cut it anymore. And the way that we're approaching the problem is kind of going back to first principles, secure the cloud from its foundations, use the infrastructure itself to go back to principle of least privilege, to zero trust in the cloud, and just make it really, really, really hard for the attacker to get in, to traverse the network, and to get out.
This is Notable Perspectives from Notable Capital, conversations with founders and operators worth paying attention to. We go beyond the hype cycle to talk about real ways to build sustainable AI-powered businesses.
Jonathan, thanks for joining me today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
ACT is not your first rodeo. You and your co-founders previously built Medigate, you scaled it, and you sold it for $400 million to Clarity. And then at Clarity, you helped scale that business to over $100 million. 0 to 1 is hard. Why do it again? Why now?
Well, why do it again is a great question. As far as I'm concerned, this is the funnest thing in my life to do, and I'd love to do it all day long, and it was great to get back to 0 to 1. And the other thing that I would say is I think when we honed in on a problem of this magnitude in the cloud, it was even more compelling to pursue this mission. So the combination of passion and a really important mission, it was a no-brainer.
We're super excited about what you guys are building. This is phenomenal. You guys are off to a great start. Perhaps you can tell us more about what you were thinking about doing differently this time. Clearly, things have changed. It's changed in how we do things, how you build products, how you go to market.
So I think what we're seeing in this day and age, in this, I like to call this post-mythos era that we live in, is that just kind of getting reports and visibility and endless findings, it just doesn't cut it anymore. People want problems solved. There's just too much noise out there, too many vulnerabilities, too many findings, too many alerts. Folks are inundated, and it's clear that a paradigm shift is needed. And the way that we're approaching the problem is kind of going back to first principles, secure the cloud from its foundations, use the infrastructure itself to go back to principle of least privilege, to zero trust in the cloud, and just make it really, really, really hard for the attacker to get in, to traverse the network, and to get out. In a sense, it's back to the future, because we did this back in enterprise days. Defense in depth is a known concept in enterprise networks, but to adapt it to cloud is something that has never been done before, and we feel like this is going to be the leading paradigm moving forward.
We spent a lot of time with the buyers of the technologies, the CISOs. And you touched on it, Mythos has kind of changed the game. It's no longer that you have a vulnerability, you prioritize it, you put severity, then you send it to your DevOps people, and you wait a month for this to be deployed and patched and feel secure. CISOs are now understanding that things are changing dramatically inside their environment. And what ACT is doing is really not just empowering the CISOs, but helping them close the loop. It's action-oriented versus visibility-oriented. Perhaps you can talk more about that, and how are you thinking that security professionals their jobs will change from this point on?
So I think that for such a long time in the cloud or in general in security, we've been really, really worried about enforcing policy, taking action, because you're always worried about whether this will break production, and it's sensitive, and rightfully so. It is a concern. But I do think that in this day and age, it is a necessity. It is required. And I also think that with the technology that we have today, AI kind of on our side, it is more possible than ever to do this. The grand vision would be an agentic workflow that continuously and adaptively enforces security policies on the cloud. That is the dream. I think that is where we're going. From a security professional perspective, I think that people are going to move into automation of kind of the mundane tasks that they do on a day-to-day basis. So once upon a time, creating a policy was really, really, really hard.
I remember.
Yeah, you do remember. Changing a firewall rule was insane. Changing a network route, that was even more insane. It was hard. It was really hard to do. And there was a lot of work entailed. I think that with automation, getting policies, crisp policies that are exactly what you need, all of that is going to be automated. I think for the foreseeable future, the humans are still going to be in the loop in terms of giving folks the confidence that everything is okay. We don't need to jump the gun in that regard, in my opinion. So there's certainly place for humans, but they're going to be more of a reviewer, a authorizer type of thing than the creator of a ticket or of a policy.
This concept of building trust, which is an order of magnitude more important now that you don't have humans in the loop. And for you as a young startup coming to the organization, telling them there's a new way of doing things, your profession is changing, the infrastructure is changing, how do you convince large enterprises, and today you already have large enterprises as customers, how do you convince them to take a bet on you as a young startup?
It's a really good question. I mean, every startup has that challenge. One of the advantages that we have is more of a mature team, a second-time team, especially one that has been in the policy enforcement domain in the past, is that we thoroughly and thoughtfully understand the thought process related to policy enforcement. Mm-hmm. So when we come in, we like to, in terms of building trust, we like to call this confidence boosters. There are certain things that we need to do in order to get the customer to trust us, whether it's simulations, whether it's rollback capabilities, whether it's you name it. But doing all of that, the customer basically gets the feeling that, okay, these guys know what they're talking about. They've done this before. They've been in the trenches. So I'm going to trust them with this. And we get that a lot. We get that kind of nod at the end, like, "Hey, you've been doing this for a while, haven't you?" And that's fun to hear, but also instills a lot of trust.
What an incredible advantage is it to be second timers, for people to trust you, for you to be able to recruit such an amazing team right out the gate. You know, perhaps forward looking a little bit about ACT. If we're sitting here 3 years from now, what do you think? What success looks like? What are the milestones we hit? How is security being done differently because of ACT?
So I think first and foremost, from a value perspective for the customer, I would like to see in 3 years, the leading security paradigm in the cloud should be prevention, or proactive security. I think that's going to be the category, that's going to be the capability that security practitioners and leaders lean on when they think about cloud. That's going to be the market perception. I think for us as a company, what I expect in 3 years from us is to have hundreds of customers, hundreds of employees. This is going to be a big company that is really going to leave a mark on the security industry forever. This is my expectation from the company.
That's awesome to hear. We're super excited. We're thankful for the partnership, and we're confident there's going to be so many great things ahead.
We're grateful as well. Thank you very much.
That's a wrap on another Notable Perspective. If you want more conversations like this, subscribe to Notable's newsletter, Worth Noting. Link in the description.